Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Prepping by Faith, and today I'm going to be sharing an article with you guys from Natural News. This one is talking about a WHO whistleblower that is sharing information with us about the globalists and their desire to seek full control over humanity through the deployment of the C-19 pandemic treaty. And the reason I want to touch on this, guys, is because I have talked about this IHR. I've talked about the pandemic treaty several different times on my channel. If you have missed those videos, please go ahead and check them out. I will link them in the description box below for you guys. But it's really important information that we need to pay attention to. So this former World Health Organization Research and Ethics Review Committee member, Astrid Stuckelberger, recently revealed that they are seeking full control through this, a virus and this treaty. So in her input, she had an interview on Highwire with Del Bigtree, and she talked about this diagram, and she shared two major phases of their agenda with the public. So set between 2020 and 2023. So she said in 2020 and 2021, there was more of this whole fear aspect. And I think a lot of us can agree with that they have just been trying to make people traumatized by this thing to get mass compliance. She said, be afraid is really the motto. So that this really, involved the testing. She said that 95% of those were false positives. I think that is important information to, file away. So we can't even trust, the diagnostics. We obviously can't trust the jabs. There is information, if you guys haven't seen that yet, where Project Veritas just talked about Pfizer and, their relationship and what they are working on as far as these mutations on this, and what they're designing and how they're, sort of controlling this in a lab environment. Never, this is terrifying stuff that we're looking at with all these mad scientists, and really they're using it as a moneymaker because all they care about is money. It's not for the good of the population. So we don't know what they're going to end up letting loose on us next because of their, continuing to sort of test this thing out and see how it's going to evolve, but they're forcing it to evolve into something. And I hope I don't get in trouble for saying all of that, but you know what, it's time that we all start, saying what we think, and not hiding our opinions on this stuff. This stuff is critical that it gets out there. A lot of people look at this as conspiracy, but all of it is being proven time and time again. So she said that those were the experimental years. The second part, guys, and this is what we need to be paying attention to right now, is that spans 2022 and 2023. And she says this involves the total control, which includes the deployment of artificial intelligence, AI, digitalization, transhumanism, and gene editing. So she says there are many documents that say the digitalization of the world is a digital biotech, AI, Internet of Things, Internet of Bodies, and this on this one side. And the other side of the document is this genome editing. So what I've done is I pulled this up. This is directly from the World Health Organization. Now, this was released to us on the 12th of July of 2021, and they said that it provided the first global recommendations to help establish human genome editing as a tool for public health with an emphasis on safety, effectiveness, and ethics. Now, understand that, this is a very dangerous thing. They're sitting here talking about how it has the potential to advance our ability to treat and cure disease, but it will only be realized if we deploy it for the benefit of all. They always talk about this, the benefit of all, the equity of all. They say that it includes faster, more accurate diagnosis, more targeted treatments and prevention of these genetic disorders. Guys, I don't know about you, but I don't want them messing around with my genes. I don't think they have any business getting in there and splicing and dicing and messing around with our DNA. This is serious stuff. And the fact that they are talking about this, they want to push this forward. They say in here that they're going to convene a small expert committee to consider next steps for the registry, how to better monitor clinical trials. So this is already underway. This is already being worked on. We already know this stuff, right? That they're doing this. And she has information here that she cites about the first trials that began in 2022 through this biotech company, Verve Therapeutics, where they used CRISPR technology, this genome editing system. It's early iteration CRISPR was used to simply make cuts in the DNA, and today it's being tested as a way to sort of change existing genetic code, even by introducing all these new chunks of DNA, or possibly entire genes into someone's genome. And she says that she pointed out on this base of studies about gene therapy that all people, guys, who have changed their genome died in the next generation. So this is not something that can be survived. This is them playing God again. They are not going to leave any of this stuff alone. They are going to continue trying to control life on in every form. They want to control it at birth. We've talked about these different them playing God in these like mass womb facilities that they're working on creating as well. But now they want to, of course, take this further, and they're really trying to get into our DNA sequencing and our gene editing and all this stuff, guys. This is dangerous. And the reason I wanted to bring this up too, I did want to touch on one other thing. So this pandemic treaty that she's talking about, this is actually going to be coming up again. They had a meeting in December, but they're going to be having another one on the 27th of February. And pretty much every country was on board with this except for Russia. And so I want you guys to be aware of that. I want you guys to understand what kind of language is in that draft. They keep trying to blow this off like it's no big deal. This isn't going to be taking away nation sovereignty or anything like that. But I want you guys to really look at a copy of that document for yourselves, really delve into it. I'm going to link it for you, as well as, where I had kind of gone in there and dissected different things that I noticed. One of the things that stood out to me is this whole One Health approach. They keep talking about how, climate change is impacting all of this as well. That's heavily in there. But, surveillance of systems, like the whole One Pass system that they had put in place during the travel restrictions and everything. There's going to be stuff in there talking about, the sharing of information from, the zoonotic diseases, the animal to human. They keep trying to push that on us. That's why they keep wanting us to eat these bugs. They don't want us having anything to do with animals or eating animals because they're dirty, right? And then the whole of government, sort of whole of society approach. And these are just going to be, different control measures where they are bringing in the businesses and the private sector, the public sector. They're merging all this together in the government. They want them to work together. And that's so that they can create more constraints on us, more control measures. They need to have everybody on board, right? And the other thing they're talked heavily about in there was targeting misinformation and disinformation, including monitoring of regular social media listening. So that's important, guys, to note that they are actively monitoring. It's actually in their document. They're talking about this, and creating and establishing sort of these public awareness programs for this. So understand that that is the kind of thing that is going to be going forward. If we think censorship is bad now, it's only going to get worse. We need to be aware of these things. We need to be doing everything that we can to prepare. We need to understand that it's not just the World Health Organization, it's the WEF as well. It's all these global elites that are working together that have sort of, invaded every area of our lives, every corporation and bank and pharmaceutical, everything. They are in everything. So understand that when you are putting this together, see the bigger picture, understand what is going to be coming down the pike, and we need to be aware of these things. So it doesn't, to me, look like they intend on this whole C-19 thing going away. They're going to continue to sequence these other things to put us in a bigger position of control, and they're going to use this treaty that they are creating to establish more parameters for that control, tracking, tracing, monitoring. So I want you guys to be aware of this. I think it's key. I think it's important that we know what's going on, big picture. And I know a lot of you out there think, well, what good does it do me to know this? Well, it helps you to be better informed so that you can, make strides to be better prepared. And also it helps validate your preparations, right? I mean, as we see all of these things converging, as we see all of these evil things that keep coming at us, it just gives us more credence and, that we are doing the right thing. We are continuing to strive to prepare. We don't want to slow down in our preparedness. We don't want to, sort of put the brakes on and think, oh, we're good to go. We don't need to worry about this. These are things that we need to be doing, and we need to be drawing closer to the Lord. We need to be praying about these things. We need wisdom. We need guidance. We need, his hand of protection over us in these situations. We need to be listening to the Holy Spirit. We need to know when he says to move, when he says to turn left, when he says to turn right, when he says to stand still. We need to have that communication with God. We need to know what we are to do so that we don't set our foot into a trap and get caught in a snare by the enemy. So I just want to share this with you guys today. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a like, share, and subscribe. Remember to pray, prep, and put God first. God bless.